One way we might lose control of an AI agent's actions is if it engages in behavior known as proxy gaming. It is often difficult to specify and measure the exact goal that we want a system to pursue. Instead, we give the system an approximate proxy goal that is more measurable and seems likely to correlate with the intended goal. However, AI systems often find loopholes by which they can easily achieve the proxy goal, but completely fail to achieve the ideal goal. If an AI games its proxy goal in a way that does not reflect our values, then we might not be able to reliably steer its behavior. We will now look at some past examples of proxy gaming and consider the circumstances under which this behavior could become catastrophic. Proxy gaming is not an unusual phenomenon. For example, standardized tests are often used as a proxy for educational achievement, but this can lead to students learning how to pass tests without actually learning the material. In 1902, French colonial officials in Hanoi tried to rid themselves of a rat infestation by offering a reward for each rat tail brought to them. Rats without tails were soon observed running around the city. Rather than kill the rats to obtain their tails, residents cut off their tails and left them alive, perhaps to increase the future supply of now valuable rat tails. In both these cases, the students or residents of Hanoi learned how to excel at the proxy goal while completely failing to achieve the intended goal. Proxy gaming has already been observed with AIs. As an example of proxy gaming, social media platforms such as YouTube and Facebook use AI systems to decide which content to show users. One way of assessing these systems would be to measure how long people spend on the platform. After all, if they stay engaged, surely that means they are getting some value from the content shown to them? However, in trying to maximize the time users spend on a platform, these systems often select enraging, exaggerated, and addictive content. As a consequence, people sometimes develop extreme or conspiratorial beliefs after having certain content repeatedly suggested to them. These outcomes are not what most people want from social media. Proxy gaming has been found to perpetuate bias. For example, a 2019 study looked at AI-powered software that was used in the healthcare industry to identify patients who might require additional care. One factor that the algorithm used to assess a patient's risk level was their recent healthcare costs. It seems reasonable to think that someone with higher healthcare costs must be at higher risk. However, white patients have significantly more money spent on their healthcare than black patients with the same needs. Using health costs as an indicator of actual health, the algorithm was found to have rated a white patient and a considerably sicker black patient as at the same level of health risk. As a result, the number of black patients recognized as needing extra care was less than half of what it should have been. As a third example, in 2016, researchers at OpenAI were training an AI to play a boat racing game called Coast Runners. The objective of the game is to race other players around the course and reach the finish line before them. Additionally, players can score points by hitting targets that are positioned along the way. To the researchers' surprise, the AI agent did not circle the racetrack, like most humans would have. Instead, it found a spot where it could repetitively hit 3 nearby targets to rapidly increase its score without ever finishing the race. This strategy was not without its virtual hazards. The AI often crashed into other boats and even set its own boat on fire. Despite this, it collected more points than it could have by simply following the course as humans would. Proxy gaming more generally. In these examples, the systems are given an approximate proxy goal or objective that initially seems to correlate with the ideal goal. However, they end up exploiting this proxy in ways that diverge from the idealized goal or even lead to negative outcomes. Offering a reward for rat tails seems like a good way to reduce the population of rats. A patient's healthcare costs appear to be an accurate indication of health risk, and a boat race reward system should encourage boats to race, not catch themselves on fire. Yet, in each instance, the system optimized its proxy objective in ways that did not achieve the intended outcome or even made things worse overall. This phenomenon is captured by Goodhart's law. Any observed statistical regularity will tend to collapse once pressure is placed upon it for control purposes, or put succinctly but overly simplistically, when a measure becomes a target, it ceases to be a good measure. In other words, there may usually be a statistical regularity between healthcare costs and poor health, or between targets hit and finishing the course. But when we place pressure on it by using one as a proxy for the other, that relationship will tend to collapse. Correctly specifying goals is no trivial task. If delineating exactly what we want from a boat racing AI is tricky, capturing the nuances of human values under all possible scenarios will be much harder. Philosophers have been attempting to precisely describe morality and human values for millennia, so a precise and flawless characterization is not within reach. Although we can refine the goals we give AIs, we might always rely on proxies that are easily definable and measurable. Discrepancies between the proxy goal and the intended function arise for many reasons. Besides the difficulty of exhaustively specifying everything we care about, there are also limits to how much we can oversee AIs in terms of time, computational resources, and the number of aspects of a system that can be monitored. Additionally, AIs may not be adaptive to new circumstances or robust to adversarial attacks that seek to misdirect them. As long as we give AIs proxy goals, there is the chance that they will find loopholes we have not thought of, and thus find unexpected solutions that fail to pursue the ideal goal. The more intelligent an AI is, the better it will be at gaming proxy goals. Increasingly intelligent agents can be increasingly capable of finding unanticipated routes to optimizing proxy goals without achieving the desired outcome. Additionally, as we grant AIs more power to take actions in society, for example by using them to automate certain processes, they will have access to more means of achieving their goals. They may then do this in the most efficient way available to them, potentially causing harm in the process. In a worst-case scenario, we can imagine a highly powerful agent optimizing a flawed objective to an extreme degree without regard for human life. This represents a catastrophic risk of proxy gaming. In summary, it is often not feasible to perfectly define exactly what we want from a system, meaning that many systems find ways to achieve their given goal without performing their intended function. AIs have already been observed to do this, and are likely to get better at it as their capabilities improve. This is one possible mechanism that could result in an uncontrolled AI that would behave in unanticipated and potentially harmful ways.